The Jonathan Kumminga contract is perfect. Welcome back to No Bias Hoops. Today we're talking about Jonathan Kumminga and the Golden State Warriors and why the contract they signed is perfect for both sides. The Warriors signed Kumminga to a 2-year, $48 million contract, meaning he'll make about $24 million every year, which is not that much for a good role player, a good young role player, that is. And what it does for the Warriors, it gives them 2 years to either convince Kaminga that he's welcome and that he's a part of their future, or trade him for assets. And that is exactly what the Warriors need to do. A long term contract would not have been the move for the Warriors because it makes them harder to trade and it really makes them commit to him long term. From Kaminga's side, it's perfect because he only, worst case scenario, the Warriors don't trade him and he doesn't want to be there. After making 2 years, $48 million, which is a ton of money, he's an unrestricted free agent and can leave to go sign elsewhere. Lots of teams will likely have cap space by then, and it's a perfect situation for Kaminga to be in. The other thing it does for the Warriors is it makes it so Kuminga does not have a no trade clause, which he would have had if he signed the qualifying offer. So now the Warriors can freely move him around or convince him he's welcome and keep him. The Golden State Warriors have made a few recent signings, such as bringing in Al Horford, D'Anthony Melton, and Seth Curry. These moves are good, but the Warriors' front court, in my opinion, is not good enough, especially after losing Kevon Looney. Quentin Post was a bright spot last season, but he just doesn't have what it's take to be a starting center on a championship team. The Warriors need to capitalize on the last few years of Steph Curry, and that's why I think at the deadline, Kuminga is going to be aggressively shopped for a center. You look at teams like the Chicago Bulls who have Nikola Vucevic, and I'm not saying that Vucevic for Kuminga straight up would be a good deal. Vucevic is well past his prime. However, he could be a good starting center for the Warriors, and on his expiring contract, the Warriors could likely get him on a cheaper contract going forward. However, the Bulls would also have to throw picks, which they might not be willing to do. But think about it. If the Warriors were able to get one or two first round picks, as well as a future starting center, at least for now, or at least a good backup center for the future is Vucevic, they would, I think they should easily do that because their asking price is high for Kuminga, but really, if Kuminga hasn't shown them that he deserves to have a future in Golden State, trading him for Vucevic and two picks would be amazing, right? And then you have high-end players like Walker Kessler, and the Jazz could definitely put something together with throwing also maybe Yusuf Nurkic for a contract as well as a center, but the Warriors just don't have picks, and other than, I guess, Quentin Post, who the Jazz wouldn't be that interested in because they need to find a star, not a bunch of okay young role players. So Walker Kessler would probably not go to Golden State. But that's why having Kuminga on this contract makes him very easy to shop around. And $25 million a year seems like a ton, but in the NBA that is not much. The Lakers, who definitely probably are not interested in Kuminga, they could throw Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleba, and I'm pretty sure that contracts would work out and they would be able to pull off that trade. That is how much money players make, and that's how good this contract is for the Warriors. And like I said, for Kuminga, it's still very good. It's not a long-term commitment. He'll still be an unrestricted free agent, and he still makes a little bit more money with the Warriors this year. Another contract was Quentin Grimes signing his qualifying offer with the Philadelphia 76ers. This move is not great for Philly because he now has a no trade clause and will be an unrestricted free agent next offseason. The reason why it does make sense for Philadelphia is because investing in a player because they had a good second half of a season is not smart because that could have been a fluke, right? Quentin Grimes was really, really good for the Philadelphia 76ers after acquiring him. However, that might not transition into this season, and if it doesn't, then you're going to have signed him to a very, very expensive contract. For Grimes, it's amazing. He now has a no trade clause. He now has unrestricted free agency next season, And although he didn't get the payday he wanted, he now has all of the momentum, all of the control in Philadelphia. So if the Sixers aren't able to find a good trade candidate or prove to him that he wants to stay there, he can just go ahead and leave. But it does give him more pressure because he needs to continue playing like he did at the end of last season to deserve a big contract next year. That's what's currently going on in the NBA. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe. On my road to 500 subscribers. Join the climb. See you next time on No Bias Hoops.